The first venue I toured and evaluated was Castle McCulloch. It's located in Jamestown, North Carolina, right outside Greensboro. And I looked at this event not only for class, but as a wedding venue for my own wedding, as I just got engaged this weekend. This is Castle McCulloch. This is called the Great Hall. So starting at the top is where the bride would walk down the steps. So feasibility-wise, this is one of the biggest issues I think there is at the this event space, because the bride has to walk down all of these stairs, which is very difficult in a big long dress and a high heels, as you can see. So it comes down the steps that curve around, and then this space is used for the ceremony, so chairs can go all the way back. It has a detail of the castle and the large stone. You can fit 150 chairs in here, and it's really beautiful for a ceremony. This is the bottom part of Castle McCulloch. It's called the Queen's Chamber. So this is where the guests come during the cocktail reception following the ceremony, while the bridal party is getting their pictures taken. So this space can be set up with 3 different types of cocktail tables. So it has a really nice and elegant feel on the downstairs. So it'll have an open bar, it'll have past hors d'oeuvres being served by the caterers, and it's just really beautiful for the guests to sit here and enjoy the time together while the bride and groom and friends are getting pictures. So there's a lot of character in this space, which is why I really think that it's great for people who don't want a lot of decorations, because the venue decorates itself. So this is really great to keep in mind when thinking about this event space. This venue, you can see it is absolutely beautiful. It really works for a bride who would like to have a fall wedding, that would like a venue that doesn't need much decoration, that is very beautiful and kind of tells a story with her wedding. So another feasibility issue that arises with this event, so the ceremony takes place in the Great Hall, as does the reception. So there is a very tight flip in the event space, so bringing up tables to 60-inch tables to fit 10 people per table is very difficult in a 30 to 45 minute time span, and getting ready for the catering and the reception upstairs. So having the cocktail area downstairs does help with that, but it also is definitely something a bride would need to consider with this venue. Another feasibility issue is you can only have the event space an hour and a half before your wedding starts, due to the high volume of weddings at this venue. So it is very important for a bride to know ahead of time that decorations are going to have to be laid out very quickly in order to have everything ready for the ceremony. The second event space I toured was Childress Vineyards. It's located in between Salisbury, North Carolina and Winston-Salem, and this was an absolutely beautiful space that would be perfect for a fall wedding. This is the actual venue space at Childress Vineyards. So you can see the large ponds that they have surrounding the acres of grapevines that are used to make the wine here. This would be a very nice backdrop for pictures for the bridal party, with the dock surrounding the lake. This is the area that could be used for a ceremony, so all the chairs can be laid out in the grass, leading up to the gazebo, where that could be where the reception is held. So the caterers can be located under the gazebo along with the bar, and then have a dance floor set up on the middle of the ground and allow guests to enjoy the large space that's offered by the vineyards, and really have a good time enjoying the fall weather and a celebration for the bride and groom. Feasibility-wise, this venue is very nice for an outdoor wedding. It accommodates a large number of guests, which is important for a person who would like a large wedding. An issue with this event is the inside space at the vineyards is not as accommodating for large wedding parties. So if you're planning on having a lot of guests, a rain plan, if there is unfortunately a weather event at your wedding, you may be in trouble if you had, say, 200 guests invited, and the space will be very, very tight and uncomfortable with that many people. So that is something I think definitely stands out in my mind as a feasibility issue with this event. Along with this event space is not budget friendly, so it would be really important to keep in mind the budget for the bride as a feasibility issue with this event, because weddings are already very costly, and a bride doesn't want her wedding event space to eat away all of her budget. So I think that's important to remember. My last venue that I toured is Dan Nicholas Park. It's located in Salisbury, North Carolina. This event space is for a bride that would be more budget friendly and budget conscious. This event space does not have a large outdoor or indoor space. It would be more of kind of a barn type wedding feel. So I think that's important to keep in mind for this venue that is very different in nature from the last two venues. This is the event space that could be used at Dan Nicholas Park. This would be perfect to set up a large tent for a ceremony and or reception in this really large field. So for this, you could accommodate however many guests you would like. So you could have 25 guests up to several hundred guests, depending on whatever the bride wanted and envisioned for her wedding. So I think this allows for a lot of flexibility and creativity and decor and event space and how you choose to set it up and catering, because there's not any rules that you kind of have to play with for this venue. So I think that's a huge plus and a large factor in feasibility for this event, that you can make it your space and create how you want to. An issue with the feasibility of this event space, though, is that it's outdoors completely, so if there is any rain or bad weather, it would not be an enjoyable event for guests. I am choosing Castle McCulloch as my ideal wedding venue for the October wedding. I think this venue is absolutely beautiful. It would be beautiful in pictures. It's a very unique and intriguing wedding venue. Just there's so much history and beautiful architecture in the venue that it really doesn't need much decoration. This can be a huge plus in addressing the issue of feasibility with the short time and flipping the space in between the ceremony and reception and before the ceremony and getting into the event space an hour and a half before. So I think you can really make this work for a bride and make it the best day of her life at this venue.